Good morning. I just wanted to weigh in on some controversy that's going on in the Age of Sigmar community recently, specifically the banning of armies. But before we get into that, thanks to all the patrons, Wybarian and Baron of Dice. Wow. So here's the controversy. So Fall Frenzy, this is a Warpfires mini tournament that is happening on September 6th, 2025, so coming up pretty soon. They, in their tournament pack, which I've already opened, they have, under events and FAQs, the new Khorne Army of Renown Gore Chosen Champion will not be allowed at this event. And, I mean, that in itself is not controversial. I've seen a number of tournaments ban this. I've called for this being banned myself. We can talk about that just here in a sec. But in addition, the new Kharadron Overlords, the whole army will not be allowed at this event. You can use the index. So you can't use the new KO book at all. So there's two things that I wanted to talk about. The first one is the banning of this Gore Chosen Champion, Army of Renown. So I think that this Army of Renown is broken. I don't think it's working as intended. Sorry for all the Discord. I was getting lots of people helping me out lots with this, finding all this stuff. So thanks to everybody that was helping me track down. I can't read, obviously. But I don't think that this Gore Chosen Champion's Army of Renown is working as intended. I really doubt that. So the problem that this army has is that every single unit, when it dies on a 5-up, just doesn't die. And there's no restriction. It doesn't have once per turn army, and it doesn't have once per game per unit. If we were to quickly look up so like here is a good example of something that it should be. So Sylvaneth have an artifact of power called Seed of Rebirth. But if this unit would be destroyed before removing it from play, roll a die on a 3-up. So it's a 5-up with the Gore Chosen Champion. This unit is not destroyed and any remaining damage points inflicted on it have no effect. Then heal 1 this unit. Cool. That's where the Gore Chosen Champion one ends. Is this language, right? It's exactly this, except for it's a 5-up. But Seed of Rebirth has, this unit cannot use this ability again for the rest of the battle. So it's like, I feel like the Gore Chosen Champion should probably have once per turn army, and that other clause where it's like once per battle per unit. But it doesn't have that, so it's just broken, and so nothing dies. Every time you kill anything, right, a third of the time it just doesn't die. So I don't think it's working as intended. I think it's broken. I think that if you want to ban an army from an Age of Sigmar tournament, I think that making the case that no, this is new and broken and not working as intended is a strong argument for why you would want to ban an army, or in this case an Army of Renown. It's also just, it's an Army of Renown, so you can still play the Khorne book, and you're just not playing this like side thing that Khorne have, but you can still play the book. So I don't think that decision was particularly controversial. There are people that disagree and say that this Army of Renown shouldn't have been banned, and I respect that position. It's like it's TO shouldn't be out there just like banning whatever they want and so on, right? Like GW releases this game, players buy models, and players should be able to play those models at tournaments, right? And play the rules that are released by GW at tournaments. I sort of get that. I'm not in that camp, but I can appreciate those arguments in that position. However, banning an entire book is a different story. Players have thrown a lot of criticism at this, and that's fair. Like, you can throw lots of criticism. The new Kharadron Overlords book being released and being pretty good, and people aren't very happy with it, and or some people aren't very happy with it, and I understand. But like, one of the counter arguments is like, well, do you just ban like whatever the best armies are? Do you just like, why isn't Artis Arcane banned, for example? So people are, so it's controversial, right? So here's my proposed solution. Okay. Here's my proposed solution. I think that we all agree. I don't think it's a hot take to say that new books often have problems, ranging from minor to major. New books' minor problems have missing keywords, unclear rules, They need FAQs, misprints. Like for example, in the new Nighthaunt book, I'm pretty sure there's a rule that's missing just a keyword. Let's see if I can just pull it up here really quick. Essentially, what the problem is that one of the battle formations is very much similar to the other battle formation. Oh, it's not here. It's the two battle formations that have movement abilities, and I swear to God, the first one, it should have the run keyword. And if it had the run keyword, it wouldn't just be strictly better than the other battle formation. Essentially, they both let you move in combat. One lets you like do a run while in combat. It lets you end that move in combat. And the other one lets you like retreat it from combat and then charge. But it makes no sense because like it's better to run and charge rather than move and charge. But if you run, you can't charge. So to me, that makes more sense, where it's like this one you can move, but you can't charge, or you can run into combat, but you can't charge. And this one is you can retreat and charge, but it's like you have to actually roll the 2d6, right? So I don't know. So I think we all agree. I don't think it's a hot take to say that new books need like updates, FAQs. New books are overtuned, undertuned, right? So here's my proposal. All TOs in all tournaments for Age of Sigmar, probably for Warhammer at large, we just say that no new books can be used until they've been updated. No new books can be used, and I don't know how long they shouldn't be allowed to be used, but no books should be used until they've been FAQ'd, until an update has come out, like a battle scroll or whatever they're called, right? Like the big updates with like all the clarifications in them. And we should just tell GW like, hey, we've had enough of books coming out that are not properly done, that are incomplete, that are missing parts, that are overtuned, that are undertuned, that are not balanced. We're tired of this, and so we're just going to say no more. We're not allowing new books into match play. We're just not going to do it. New books are banned for like 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is. It will allow it will allow time for GW to answer all of our questions and to like finish the book, right? To actually finish the book. It'll allow GW to finish the bloody books, and it'll give the community time to like buy the models, paint the models, make the list, figure out the armies, right? Things like this. I would be totally okay with that, but I think that essentially what this tournament, what Warfire Minis, the position that they were put in, and I'm empathetic with their decision a little bit, is that they were put sort of into a position where, and all TOs are like this, where it's like, hey, I'm running a tournament, what should I ban? Right? Like, should anything be banned? Because GW gives us like these sloppy, unfinished books. They're like 95% done, but they're not done, right? So I don't know. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. It's an interesting topic of conversation. What do you think about my proposal of just doing like a blanket time ban, like a delay ban for all new books and all new rules? And you can even do it for seasonal rules, like whatever you wanted, right? But I think if all of the sort of Age of Sigmar came together and we had a big conversation about it, and we can maybe come to some kind of consensus, and then we're not asking each individual TO or group of TOs to make these decisions on their own, that we together could be like, this is sort of what we think as a community, that what we should do about this problem of like, if Gore Chosen Champions was allowed at tournaments, they just dominate, right? It's like people like work really hard and they get like they practice and all kinds of things, and then to go to a tournament and just be like, oh, so you just like 3D printed or this Army of Renown at the last minute, or you just went out and bought some of these models or borrowed them off like 3 friends and put them on the table, and and it's just so good that you just win, or you just happen to have all of these models and you're not even like a very good player, but you just like won this 55 player tournament because you you just have like these broken rules. Or like, hey, look at LVO. Oh, like this Gore Chosen Champions came out just before LVO and they didn't ban it, and the top 7 armies are all from this, like that. Obviously that's not good, and that's going to happen again, right? It's going to happen again in the future because that's what GW does. That's their pattern. So I think it's time as a community we say, we've had enough of that. We're going to put our own policies in place to, you know, help minimize this problem. But I think we have to do it together. Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Wow.